Today we're gonna make one of my favorite pasta dishes, Anelletti al Forno, coming up right now. So I'm gonna go over the ingredients quickly. Always like to do that to show you what's going on in the dish. My favorite part of this dish is the pasta. I love the shape of it. I love the texture of it when you eat it. And here it is, Anelletti. I'm using Remo brand. If you can't find it in store, you can get it on Amazon. They have all different brands. I'll link that in the description. If you don't want to do that, you could use any small pasta. But I do like the combination of that size pasta with all the other ingredients we're doing here, like when you're taking a bite. We're gonna make a meat sauce. For the tomato component, I have two 24-ounce jars of passata, and I'm gonna use almost the two bottles of it, probably like a little bit less. If you can't find this, you can just use two 28-ounce cans of either whole plum tomatoes that you crush, or just crushed tomatoes. So 2 cans, that would be fine. Half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. We're gonna put a grated carrot into the sauce when we make it. This is a medium carrot that I grated. I prep everything the night before, so that's why everything might have a little bit different color now than if I freshly grated that carrot. And that's gonna give a sweetness component to the sauce, which is nice. 1 medium onion diced. We're gonna use 1.5 pounds of ground chuck. That is just the perfect amount of meat for this, but if you really wanted to up it more, you could add more if you like, or you could even take a little bit out. 1 cup of dry white wine and a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. That pretty much rounds out all the sauce component. We're also gonna put peas in this, and I have 3 cups of frozen peas, and since I prepped it overnight, they are now no longer frozen, and that's fine. Half a pound of ham that I just kind of cut into pieces like this. So if you get deli ham, and that's what I'm using here, everything comes stacked, wrapped neatly in a pack. If you put the whole like stacked ham and you try to cut it into squares like this, you're gonna be left with a bunch of just like stacks of ham that don't really separate well when you make your pasta. So if you can, and this is what I did, just lay them all out on a cutting board and then just cut them into squares. So they'll be kind of like more loose when it goes into the pasta. Not a big deal if you don't do that, but I think it's a nice thing to do. And then finally for the cheese, we have a half a cup of grated Pecorino Romano, or 45 grams. And then I have a pound of mozzarella and caciocavallo. So I'm using half a pound each. Caciocavallo might be a little bit difficult for you to find. Italian cheese. This is the one I'm using, this brand right here. There's all different types. There'll be smoked, there'll be like more aged ones. And it has a little bit more flavor than mozzarella. It melts not quite as well, but almost as well. If you can't find it, just go with a whole pound of mozzarella cheese that's shredded. Just want to make it really easy for you. I don't want to ever make a recipe where it's like you can't find an ingredient. So that's why I always try to give options. All right, let's make the sauce. For the sauce, I'm just using this 5-quart or 4-quart high-walled pan here, which will be large enough, I think, to fit everything. Heat it to medium. Okay, and just coat the bottom with oil. So the recipe says 4 tablespoons, but just coat it. And when I say the recipe says, I'm the one who wrote the recipe. Cooking should be intuitive. It should never be a science where you're following. You know, you're not doing a science experiment. Okay, so let's add the onion in. You don't want to burn the onion, just get it translucent. If you have to lower the heat, lower the touch. Just gonna put a pinch of salt on the onion too to help release water. I probably should have diced these a little bit finer, but it's all right. All right, it's gonna take about 5 or 7 minutes. Okay, so here are the onions. Okay, just to about that. Okay, so soft and translucent. You can do your meat first if you want, and then do your onions second, which I do for a lot of recipes. But for this, you're not trying to get this meat really brown or anything. So it's not critical, it's not important at all. All right, so I'm just gonna break this block of meat up a little bit in here. This is 1.5 pounds of ground chuck. All right, I'm gonna try to get some of those onions on top of it so the meat can make a little contact in the pan. All right, we're just gonna cook this until the meat is basically cooked through and let it release a little bit of its water and fat. If you buy that meat, the ground meat from a cube, it's always like just, you know, they pack it together so they can fit like a full truck of it loaded up, and it doesn't break up as well as when it comes from a grinder like this. But still, either way, just get in there and break it up. You could use your wooden spoon, or you can use this meat masher, which is great. I mean, this, you know, does the job very easily. All right, we'll let it go a few more minutes to get a little bit more of the water out of it. You know, the ground beef has a lot of water in it and fat. This ground beef anyway, this is ground chuck. But if you got very lean meat, it wouldn't have much fat. But I rarely ever cook with the lean meats. I just don't. They just don't have as much flavor. All right, that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna put in that grated carrot. This was a medium carrot. When you grate it, it gets a lot smaller. You could, if you don't want to grate it, don't take the time to grate it. You can add a carrot in and just remove it, but it'll get more of a sweetness from the grated part in here. And you're not even really gonna see this when you mix your tomato in. I'm just gonna let the carrot cook in here for a couple minutes. The peas are gonna add sweetness too. The onions add sweetness. This is a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. If you like more, add as much as you like, or if you don't want any spice in there, just don't use it. Let it cook in for about 20, 30 seconds. All right, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt here, though you don't have to. You're gonna be able to season up the sauce after. Okay, 1 cup of dry white wine. Turn up the heat to high and let that cook for a bit. Just want to bring this to a boil and just cook until most of the wine evaporates and infuses the meat. All right, you can back it off a little bit to about medium. Most of it's evaporated in there. And the recipe is using 1.5 bottles. These are 25-ounce bottles, 24.5 ounce, or 700 grams. I'm just gonna use both. I always like to have more sauce because I don't like to finesse it with having the exact amount. We're gonna need about 4 to 5 cups when we make our baked pasta, so we want a little bit left. It's good, you can make very quick sauces with this where you don't have to let it simmer. You know, there's a decent amount inside there. You could put a little bit of water in both of them to get the remaining bit out. All right, really threading the needle here with size, but it'll be all right. All right, let's just mix this together, and we want to let this come back to a simmer. Should have used a larger pot. I always say that. But I do this, I have the low one so you can see. I want you to be able to see into the, see into it when I'm filming. It's gonna start splattering, so I just have a, lid cracked. And I just put some water in there, just a little bit. I'm gonna pour all that into the other one. Okay, just shake it up. And just put that remaining bit of puree in there. Just so you get all your money's worth, you get every bit of it out. At this time, you can bring a pot of water, salted water to boil, and we'll start boiling the pasta in a couple minutes. I wanna go over one thing with you. It's actually very important. So Rubbo is a great brand. It's considered one of the best brands in Italy. On here, it says 3 minutes. This does not take 3 minutes, okay? I bought a bunch of these, so I've been using them lately, and it took about 8 minutes to get it to probably 3 minutes from finish. And that's where you want it, because the baking process is gonna take longer. So all you have to do with whatever brand you use, and the only reason I'm telling you is because in case you see what I'm using and you buy it, if you do it for 3 minutes and then you put it in here to bake, it's gonna be rock hard, okay, after the 30 minutes of baking. So just use use this, right? Don't just go by instructions. Use this, taste it. When it's still, really firm, so a few more minutes from being finished, that's when we're gonna pull it and then mix it. All right, so it's bubbling, simmering. Let's get the peas in. If you don't like peas, you can take the peas out. All right, you can just omit them. I see my water coming to boil. Again, cook it till it's about 3 minutes less than al dente, whatever brand you use. All right, I'm just gonna keep it on the lowest heat possible. Very, very low. Let's taste it now. We'll season it up if we need to. It's delicious. So delicious. I don't think it needs a thing. Maybe a touch more salt. Okay, so that's been 3 minutes. I wanted to show you the pasta now. That's actually longer than 3 minutes. You can actually hear it crunching when I'm eating it. All right, and that's what it looks like too here. The water is boiling, rapid boil. So it needs a long time. I can't remember exactly how long I did it last time. I think it was 7 or 8. Still waiting for the pasta. Get your oven set to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and just set the rack to the middle level, okay? And we're gonna need roughly 4 to 5 cups of that sauce initially. So all I did was I just put it in the thing that I had the peas in. Okay, so pasta, actually 10 minutes that was, but just, you just taste it, and that's how you know. Okay, so that's 4 cups of the sauce. I just used the whole bag, which was 500 grams, so it's 17 and a half ounces. And I have plenty of extra sauce here. That's why I like to do this. This recipe is very similar to riso al forno that we made probably maybe 2 years ago. That one is in the cookbook. I use Scamorza cheese for that one. And Scamorza is a great cheese also. You could use smoked if you want to like really amp it up. There's a bunch of baked pastas in the cookbook. You could buy it right here or here. And there's 110 total recipes. If you bought it already, we thank you. And if you haven't bought it, maybe buy it for a friend or family that likes cookbooks. If you don't like cookbooks, if you just like watching our videos. All right, so here's our ham. There's a half a pound of just deli ham. Okay, gonna mix that in there too. Honestly, I could just eat this like this. It's so good. And when I made this a couple weeks ago for the family, everybody loved it. I'm gonna put a thick layer of the sauce at the bottom.
Should you like oil the sides so
you don't have to for this. It's gonna be totally fine. But you know, if they want to do it for extra insurance, yeah, definitely.
I'm thinking as the dishwasher in our little operation here that I think things stick after they're baked. It would be nice.
Definitely a concern for the dishwasher. All right, so we're gonna put half of it on top of this and then save the other half. Just try to eyeball it. Do half of the Pecorino Romano, so 1/4 cup. And I'm just gonna put all the cheese. You can also cube it in here to give better texture. If you don't wanna do it this way, you can mix about maybe 1/3 of this into the pasta. But it's all gonna melt. It's all gonna be distributed anyway, especially when you spoon it out for the person. Okay, a little bit more sauce. And you need a big baking dish for this. This is a 9 by 13. It's about 4 quarts, I would say, maybe 3.5 quarts. If you don't have something this large for it, you can use 2 smaller baking dishes. Just go through the same process. Another line or 2 of sauce. End up only having that much sauce. All right, that's just that remaining ham. Another thing you can do, and you know, this is more for looks, halfway through the baking or even now, you can kind of, I would probably do it halfway through the baking. You can get under it and start like moving pieces up so you get a little bit more crispy edges because it is a very uniform pasta bake. But yeah, maybe halfway through. All right, and then the remaining pecorino. So all you're gonna do is bake this for 30 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanna mix some pieces around a little bit at the halfway point, go ahead. And then during the last minute or two, if you wanna get it browner, you can broil it. Just watch it carefully so you don't burn it. It's really as simple as that. Okay, there it is. I broiled it for the last couple minutes so you can see the ham on top got a little brown, maybe a little too much, but it looks good. Any baked pasta, you gotta let rest for 20 to 30 minutes, settle. Basically, all that liquid you're seeing in here is gonna absorb more back into the pasta. This type of dish, a baking dish like this, a stoneware, this thing will be hot an hour, hour and a half later. It'll be fine for everybody to eat. And that's normally what I'll do with a baked pasta. I will just let it sit for a long time. I didn't go into it at all. So this recipe is basically the quick version of making like a timballo. So that is a little bit more involved. You do it in a cake pan. It'll often have breadcrumbs on top of it. Some people will put other ingredients in it. There's a movie done about it with Stanley Tucci. It's basically the same thing in a nutshell. This is kind of like the easier, quicker version of it. And I absolutely love it this way. So we're gonna let it sit and we're going to let the taste tester have it probably 90 minutes from now because I'm gonna make another video.
It is big night and it's timballo.
Yeah. I saw the movie a very long time ago. I don't really remember it. But even for this one, you could top it with breadcrumbs if you like, which gives a nice textural element. All right, we'll be back later for the taste test.
This is like one of my favorite things, so I was saying it. I don't even know what it's called, but like I love it. The ham with the beef and the peas. Like I just love peas with pasta. Like I love that one pasta and peas thing.
I think this is like the ultimate combo. Now I get if somebody doesn't like peas, but in the ham, in Italy, regular ham is called prosciutto cotto, I believe. And so that you'll see recipes that'll say that. I wouldn't put prosciutto in this, like prosciutto, like regular prosciutto de Parma. Like that would be, I think it would be overpowering. You could, but I think you're better off with the ham. It's a more balanced flavor. What do you think about that? Do you think like regular prosciutto would be better in this or not?
I think it would be good.
I know how much you love it. He eats it like every day. He's like every day. He's like, can you get me that? Can you get me fresh mozzarella? Can you get me red roasted peppers, and he's like, get me that soft bread. Because who's that guy you've been watching on Facebook all nonstop?
I don't even have Facebook.
Well, or TikTok.
He'll come up on like my TikTok. Like,
What's his name?
Giovanni's Italian Deli.
Yeah, was he's in Westchester?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like obsessed. So he's like talking like him.
I'm not even joking. I think I showed you like one of his videos. I think this would be good with prosciutto too, but like honestly, it's fine with the ham. Like the saltiness of the ham with like the crunchiness of the peas. Like I'm kind of glazing right now, but like it's just so good. Like
and the cheese too, right?
Yeah. It's like definitely my top 5 pastas, honestly. I feel like that keeps changing as I keep eating more pastas, but
yeah, I kind of wish I put this one in the cookbook, but I think I said it earlier. Riso al forno is that's in the cookbook. It's very similar. That's a baked rice dish.
Is this your recipe? You made this?
Yeah, I made it up. Yeah, I mean, like what I do is for inspiration, I look at other versions of it. A lot of times they'll do, in Sicily, they'll make a more involved version where they bake it almost as a cake with breadcrumbs, and it'll be like a mound.
And like I know I love pasta, but it's not even about the pasta. It's just like the stuff in it. It's
The
so
combo, right? Mm-hmm. Some versions will have hard-boiled eggs in it too, like chunks of hard-boiled eggs.
That would be pretty good, actually.
Yeah. A lot of Italian immigrants in the early 1900s in the United States would put hard-boiled eggs in their sauce.
Yeah.
And they would put peas in it too to just to
braciole
extend
too,
it.
right?
Well, braciole, they would put the hard-boiled eggs in the braciole.
Yeah, but no, they would actually put the whole hard-boiled egg in
the sauce.
pot of sauce.
Yeah, and a bunch of peas too.
Well, you guys can tell as I mean this is a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
It's like
Yes, haven't had a 10 in a long time.
I give the chicken scampi a 9. That was
You
close.
did. You did. And that's a preference thing. He's always going to score higher with the pasta.
Well, no, I love chicken piccata. That's a 10. Like, there's a lot of things that are 10s on pasta. Like,
Yeah, maybe I should, do you think, I'm asking you, the viewer, do you think we should redo some of the videos that are like 5 or 6 years old? That they weren't as well made, I guess? It's when I had a ponytail, when I looked ridiculous. Like, if you think, if you want any of those redone, let us know. You could send me an email. You could leave it in the comments here.
I think you should remake your very first video.
Oh man, that video. It's the worst video ever, and I leave it up for posterity. I filmed it with my cell phone. The audio was horrendous. My daughter's in it. She's so tiny. She's so big now. Yeah, it was like 6 years ago. Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 years.
That was for zucchini fritters.
Zucchini fritters. Yeah, I picked like the recipes that nobody would watch when I first started doing it, simply because I knew nobody was going to watch anyway. Well, James, you cleared that one out.
yep.
All right. Well, on that note, leave a comment if you want some of those oldie recipes redone. We always appreciate you watching, coming here every week, and we will see you next time. James, I got a whole thing of it over here. Look at how much I have.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be eating a lot of that.